This is Scott Templeman with the Gilbane Group, part of Outsell, and I have with me today Scyphers, and he's going to be in session T10, Applications of Search in SharePoint. And why don't you introduce yourself and your background?
Well, sure. My name is Chuck Scyphers. I've been working in IT for about 20 years. My main focus has been with Oracle databases, doing high availability, high scalability, and high throughput systems. My company is Damon Consulting. We're located in the Washington, D.C. area. We mostly work with federal customers, but we do have a couple of corporate clients, usually in IP litigation. With regards to, excuse me, track 10 of the Gilbane conference, we're going to be talking about SharePoint and federated queries.
Okay. Now, as far as what specifically will be some major points of why say federated search is important to an enterprise?
Well, in my experience, when you have a large enterprise data system, people tend to be somewhat protective of their rights bowls. They understand that information is power, and they don't want to give up that power. So if you come in with, let's say, an enterprise data warehouse where everyone has to play together nicely, one of the political problems that typically occurs is you have one or two people who will slow roll you. They'll participate, but they'll just kind of drag their feet because they don't want to give up that power. Or they think it's the wrong idea or however way to go. With federated queries, they get to maintain control of their environment, and the enterprise still gets access to their data. I found that it tends to work better as far as the political side goes, because now everyone is less threatened.
And that also seems to be an issue that can translate from the government entity to a enterprise pretty easily as well, it sounds like.
Oh yes, very much so.
So now you said that they get to maintain control. Say you're someone like myself who doesn't really know anything about enterprise search. What kind of degree of control do they get to maintain if their information is still searchable?
Well, it depends on how you want to set it up. If you're in a politically fraught environment, what I suggest usually people do is to implement a relatively limited pilot so that each group would provide an API or some sort of a limited access into their data to get started. And that is usually a really easy political sell because it's not very it's not very threatening. I just have all I'm doing is providing this one eensy beensy little bit of access into my data, and they can control it. So you can only get, I don't know, 1 year of data for this one particular set. But once the input is established, it then becomes easy. That's the nose in the tent, so to speak. You can now open up so that, and in my experience, users, once they get accustomed to having data, don't want to let it go. In fact, they only want more. So once you establish that beachhead and then expand from there.
So it sounds like it's a really good way to open up some of these previously private, cards to the chest type organizations. Excellent.
Yes, very much so. One of my colleagues calls it silent matching.
Excellent. Well, it sounds very interesting, and like I said, he'll be in session T10 if you want to check him out, and that is in the technology track. So I'll include a link to the session, and look forward to seeing you in Boston.
All right, we look forward to seeing everyone as well.
Thank you.